morning, dear students. My name is Dr. Shuaib Mohammad Bhat. I am working as Assistant Professor in the Department of English at Institute of Aeronautical Engineering, Hyderabad. Today in this video lecture, we shall be discussing about cross-cultural communication in a global team. So, the topic for the discussion today is one of the important topics because nowadays we see as the whole world is considered as a global village. So earlier, there were a lot of barriers, there were a lot of boundaries, there were a lot of hindrances, obstacles, which were protecting people, which were not allowing people to work globally. So there were certain obstacles, there were certain hindrances, which were stopping people, which were not allowing people to work in collaboration. The people who come from different backgrounds, who come from different cultural backgrounds, different social, political or religious backgrounds, so they prefer to work in their own domains, in their own areas, in their own vicinities. But nowadays we see that trend has got broken. There is nothing now like that orthodoxy, that traditionalism is not there now. So people nowadays love to work in collaboration with the people who belong to other cultures, who belong to other races, who belong to other religions, who belong to other genders. So as I told you, the world is nowadays treated as a global village. So there is nothing like I belong to a different lobby, I belong to a different category, I belong to a different continent, different region, different race. So that thing has been broken now. So people nowadays embrace everybody. People nowadays just appreciate everybody. So we are living in a global world where the world is termed as a global village. So these barriers are nowhere there now. So we have such topic where we can discuss upon cross-cultural communication. So how can we make a better communication when we have the people from different cultures? So how can this cross-cultural communication happen in a global team where we have people from different countries, different origins, different races, different social, political, economical or social backgrounds? So how can such teams, how can such global teams work together in collaboration? How can their communication work go on? How can they talk? How can they work? And how they are using this cross-cultural communication in the global teams. So this is our topic of discussion today. Let's see. Let's go with introduction first. So cross-cultural communication in a global team, it's a critical aspect of today's interconnected and diverse business environment. As I told you, the world is nowadays considered as a global village. So the cross-cultural communication in a global team, in a team where we have people from different origins, different backgrounds, different races. So cross-cultural communication, it is a critical aspect of today's interconnected and diverse business environment. So we see the business environment of the contemporary business environment. It's interconnected, it's diverse. We have people from different backgrounds. We have people from different sources, different origins. So what do we see? We see this cross-cultural communication. It's a critical aspect. So everybody nowadays, you cannot be successful in any of your enterprises or in any of your assignments if you do not know the effective communication. If you do not know how to communicate, if you are not able to convey your ideas, if you are not able to listen or comprehend other people. So for that, communication is necessary. So in this interconnected world where we have people from different origins, different backgrounds, what we see in this interconnected world, cross-cultural communication is a critical aspect. To communicate where you have people from different cultures, to make a good communication among those people or in that group of people, that is a critical aspect. That is an aspect where you need to work on, where you need to show your interest. This is an aspect which you need to improve. Because as I told you, when you are communicating good, when you are an effective communicator, so then only we can say all other your assignments, all other your enterprises, they can reach to their apex, they can reach to some conclusion when you are a successful communicator. When you better know how to convey your message in a cross-cultural global team where people from different origins are there, different cultures are there, so then only we can say, yes, you can be understood by the people. Then when you are understood by the people, obviously there may be the growth in your business. There may be the growth in your assignment which you are taking. So managing a team composed of members from different cultural backgrounds, it presents both challenges and opportunities. Now you are managing a team where the team members, they belong to different cultural backgrounds. It can at the same time provide you different challenges and opportunities. There are challenges. There are challenges. You need to adjust yourself according to their interests. Or you need, if you are the director if you are the head of that team, you need to accommodate their interests, accommodate their tastes. You need to bring them to a common platform where there cannot be a barrier like gender barrier, caste barrier, color barrier, language barrier. So it's challenging. It's not easier for a person who is dealing with a team where we have people from different cultures. It's not easy. It's not an easy task to manage them. It can be sometimes challenging because the way a particular person belonging to a particular culture, the way he talks, she talks, the way he enjoys his time in any organization, that cannot be suitable for another person who is working in the same department. So to take them all, to take such team, such heterogeneous team to a common level, to a common ground is a challenging task. And it can provide you a lot of opportunities at the same time. Because people from different origins, different cultures, they can open new windows for your business. They can introduce new ideas which are unique to your culture. They can introduce new way of dealing with a problem which may be very alien or which may be totally unknown to you. So the team, which is composed of people who belong to different cultures, so it is sometimes challenging to handle the team, but on the other hand, it can provide you a lot of opportunities. When team members came from diverse cultural backgrounds, they bring unique perspectives, communication style, and ways of working. So when you have the people of different cultures, they bring new perspectives. You may be tackling a problem in one way because you may be following your traditional way. But at the same time, if you have a person from another continent or from another culture, he or she can bring you another perspective in your problem solving aspect or in any other aspect which you are dealing with when you are dealing with your business. So the people from different cultural backgrounds, they bring us new perspectives. Then they bring new communication styles. So every communication, it depends upon a particular style. There is a style of communication. So people bring new communication styles. And they introduce new ways of working. New ways of working. So people may show you new ways to deal with the problems, to tackle with the problems, to introduce new ideas, to introduce new challenges, to introduce new ways to face the challenges. So this can only happen, this can only be possible when you have a globally cultural team, a global team where you have people from different cultures. Now, effective cross-cultural communication is essential for the success of global teams, and it impacts collaboration, productivity, and overall team dynamics. This cross-cultural communication is an essential element in any global team. So to communicate in a team where you have people from different cultures, it's an essential component. If you are successful in this cross-cultural communication, if you have managed the standard of communication in the cross-cultural teams, in the cross-cultural global teams, then it may have its positive impact in the collaboration, positive impact in productivity. Your productivity will be more, and overall team dynamics. So it has its impact on the overall team dynamics. Your team may be one of the best teams because the global team which you are dealing with, or the global team of which you are a member. So there is one secret behind the success of that global team. That's cross-cultural communication. That is, all the members, they communicate in a good way. They have selected a language. They have selected a particular dialect. They have selected a particular communication style. So they have balanced each and every cultural difference which there is. So if they have balanced each and everything, if they are good at cross-cultural communication, obviously there would be success in your company. Then here are some strategies to foster effective cross-cultural communication in a global team. Now I shall be discussing some main points that will help us to foster cross-cultural communication in a global team. How can we foster, how can we attain, how can we get this cross-cultural communication in a global team? We need to work on these following points. Number one, so the first thing is to understand cross-cultural communication, that is cultural awareness. All the global members, all the global team members, they should have cultural awareness. It's not like we are working in a company where there are different people from different cultures, and if I am a member of that team, if I consider my culture superior than others, all the other people who belong to different cultures, so if I count their culture inferior, the team will not progress. So there will not be cross-cultural communication, because at the very outset, I have maintained a higher degree for my culture, and I'm just downplaying other cultures. So by downplaying other cultures, there would not be success in communication. Communication may not happen there. We cannot see effective communication in such a group, obviously, because we all are humans. How can a human being accept this, that his or her culture is not worthy? Is a downplayed culture? Is an inferior culture? No, never ever. Nobody is going to accept this. Nobody is going to digest it. So cultural awareness is must. So cultural awareness, it forms foundation of successful cultural communication, cross-cultural communication. For cross-cultural communication, the first criteria, the first foundation is cultural awareness. All the global team members must respect all the cultures. Cultural awareness, that every culture is rich. Every culture has a rich background. Every culture is worthy. Every culture deserves respect. So team members, they need to recognize and appreciate the cultural differences that exist within the team. As I told you, within a team there are 10 members, they belong to different cultures. So they all should respect or appreciate each other's culture. Because this respecting of everybody's culture, it will lead to a collaboration. It will lead to the successful cross-cultural communication. And disrespecting of anybody's culture is harmful for the cross-cultural communication. Because if I disrespect you, you will not listen to me. And in the same way, if you disrespect me, you may not listen to me. So this is how we can foster cross-cultural communication. The first criteria is there. We need to respect each other's culture. So this awareness, it extends beyond recognizing holidays and customs. It involves understanding the deeper values, communication styles, and social norms that shape individuals' behaviors. So to respect others' culture is not only to recognize holidays and customs. This has become a tradition. We only respect others when it comes to holidays and when it comes to customs. Because we get a source of entertainment on holidays, and we like some customs because we see different shows are there. So different activities are there which sometimes give us happiness. So this has become a custom. People like others' cultures only for holidays. Okay, what is this? It is Christmas. So it is the festival. It is the festival which Christians are celebrating. Wow, this is nice. They should celebrate it. Why? Because we get holiday. So no, we should not accept it. We should not love it only because we get holidays. We should love it because it's somebody's religion. Because it is in somebody's culture. And culture is rich. Culture must be respected. It must be loved without any condition. There should be unconditional respect and unconditional love towards each other's culture. So how can we show that love? How can we love each other's culture? That is when we respect. That is when we respect their when we respect their values, when we respect their communication style, and when we respect their social norms. So when we respect each and everything which comes under that culture, so that is we are loving, we love and we respect that culture. Not only for holidays and customs, we are getting sweets on Eid, we are getting sweets on Diwali or on Holi. So it's not for these reasons we love this culture, we love these festivals. No, we should love them unconditionally because they belong to a culture, they're the parts of a culture. And culture is rich, that's why we love them. It's not because we get holidays, we get sweets, we see different activities, people are singing, dancing. Not only for that. We love them because they are the part of a culture. And at the same time, we should love their social norms. We should love their communication style. We should love their values. So that is the true love towards culture. That is the true respect towards others' culture. So to promote culture awareness, organizations can invest in training programs that provide insights into various cultures, fostering empathy and understanding among team members. Now to promote this culture awareness, to promote it, to make everybody realize the worth, the respect, the love for each other's culture, organizations, they can invest or they can provide training programs which can provide insights into various cultures, fostering empathy and understanding among. It can foster empathy, respect, and it can foster understanding among the team members towards each other's culture. So such programs should be enacted or organized, which should focus on the respect and the love for everybody's culture. Then, and this training should encourage self-reflection, helping individuals becoming aware of their own cultural biases and communication preferences. So this training should encourage self-reflection, helping individuals become aware of their own cultural biases and communication preferences. This training, it should encourage self-reflection. A person should herself become aware of their own cultural biases and communication preferences. So this training should make me aware that what are the different things which I should accept or which I should ignore at a time when I am working in a team where there are people from different cultural backgrounds. So such should be the nature of the training regarding cultural awareness. Then, high context and low context culture. So we should understand the difference between high context and low context cultures. What we see in high context cultures, much of the communication is implicit. It relies on the context, shared context and understanding. It relies on shared context and understanding. When we talk about high context culture, you will see a lot of communication is implicit, which relies on shared context and understanding. And what is the case with low context cultures? They prefer explicit communication. So one should also be aware with high context and low context culture in order to have cultural awareness, in order to just foster this cultural awareness. Then communication styles. So different cultures may have varying preferences for communication styles, direct or indirect, formal or informal. Different cultures. It depends upon the culture. Different cultures have different communication preferences, preferences for communication style. Some culture may be talking in direct or indirect way, and some cultures that people may be talking in the formal way or informal way. So some cultures value straightforward and explicit communication. There are some cultures where the communication is explicit, it is straightforward, it's to the point. There is nothing ambiguous, while others may use more nuanced and indirect language. There are other cultures where the communication style is nuanced. Digressions are there, that's ambiguous. So the language used there is indirect. So this is the communication style, this is the communication barrier which comes there when we talk about cross-cultural communication. The language consideration is next point which we need to understand. In order to foster cross-cultural communication, the next point is language consideration. So language is a central component of communication. The central component of communication is language. And in global teams, it can be a source of both strength and challenge. So language, in global teams, it can be strength and challenge. See, when you have a global team, obviously you have the people from different backgrounds. So your company can work, it can progress more and more because people from different backgrounds are there. They can provide you different suggestions, different mindsets are there, different perspectives are there. So there are chances the company or the organization, it may progress by leaps and bounds. But at the same time, it can be a challenge if you have a global team. What is the challenge? If they do not know how to communicate, if they do not have a common language, if they do not have the medium of communication. Now you have people from China, from Australia, from India, from Afghanistan, from South Korea, from some other country as well, from Malaysia, Indonesia. Different languages are there. No doubt, you have different perspectives. A person from China, he can share his experience, which is based on Chinese culture. A person from America can share some other experience from a person from India, from Afghanistan, Malaysia, Indonesia. But it is only possible when they have a common language of communication. So this language, it's an important component. It can strengthen your company, your organization, it can strengthen your global team, but at the same time, it can be a challenge to your team. Because when the people cannot speak, when the people don't have a common means of communication, it can be a challenge to you. So establishing a common language for communication is crucial. It's important to establish a common language of communication. However, it is important to recognize that language proficiency can vary among team members. But another important point is this language proficiency, it varies. I may be good at English, and the person may be good at Hindi, another person may be good at Urdu, another person may be good at Chinese, another person may be good at French, another person may be good at German, another person may be good at some other regional language. So language proficiency varies. I may not be good at English, you may be good at English. So I may be proficient in Hindi or Urdu, you may be proficient in English. So language proficiency, it varies among the team members. It's not like if I am proficient in English, so then only English should be the medium of communication. No, that's not the case. It will be, only that language will be made the medium of communication, which is globally accepted language, that's English. Then, so encourage clear and concise communication. Encouraging clear and concise communication, avoiding the use of slang, jargon, idioms that may not be universally understood. So we should encourage clear and concise communication. Which communication can be applicable, can be made common, that's clear, that's concise, that's to the point, that's brief. And we should always avoid use of slangs, jargons, idioms that may not be universally understood. There are a lot of idioms, jargons, slangs which cannot be universally understood. There may be an idiom which is common in India but not in America, but not in Australia, but not in China. There may be an idiom which is common in America, but not in Poland, but not in Scotland, but not in New Zealand, but not in India, Afghanistan, China, Japan. So we should avoid such idioms, such slangs, such jargons, because we are working in a global team. An idiom which is common in India may not be common in China, may not be common in Japan. So when we are working in a global team, we should avoid these idioms. So in cases where language differences are pronounced, so leverage translation tools to ensure that everyone comprehends the discussions. Now, in cases where language differences are pronounced, there are certain cases where language differences are pronounced. So what we should do, so we should try to just use translation tools to ensure everyone comprehends the discussion, to ensure that everyone is understanding the discussion. Another point is flexible communication style. Now it's style, it's not language, it's style. So effective cross-cultural communication, it requires flexibility in communication styles. So when you are working in a global team and you are working for cross-cultural communication, you should adopt a communication style which is flexible in nature. So different cultures may have varying preferences for directness, formality, and the use of non-verbal cues. You will see there are different cultures who prefer direct language, who prefer formal language, and they use non-verbal cues, non-verbal signals. Then some cultures use explicit communication, while others may rely on implicit or indirect expression. But there are other cultures who prefer indirect communication, who do not like non-verbal cues, who do not like formal language, they like non-formal style of communication. So we should make a flexible communication style. We should adopt a flexible communication style which can be easily understood and which can be easily adopted by the team members. So team members, they should be encouraged to adapt their communication styles to accommodate the preferences of their colleagues. All the team members, they should adopt a communication style which can accommodate the preferences of their colleagues, which can be according to the interest of all the team members, and emphasize the importance of a feedback culture where individuals feel comfortable providing constructive feedback. And we should encourage, we should emphasize, we should lay more stress on the feedback culture. All the team members should provide a feedback which can provide a constructive feedback about communication styles. Because see, when we provide feedback, we come to know about the weaknesses and strengths, about the negativity, about the negative points and about the positive points of our communication. The next point is virtual communication tools. How can we make cross-cultural communication effective in a global team? One way is to use virtual communication tools. Global teams heavily rely on virtual communication tools. These global teams, they really rely on virtual communication tools. For what? To gap the geographical gaps, to bridge the geographical gaps, to cement the geographical gaps. Geographical means distance. One is from India, another is from China, and another is from Japan. So there is a geographical gap. There is a difference in culture, language, tradition, values, norms, customs, rituals, festivals. So to bridge this gap, there are teams who prefer virtual communication tools like video conferencing, messaging, project management platforms. Project management platforms facilitate collaboration across different time zone and locations. So these virtual communication tools, they facilitate collaboration. They provide collaboration among or across different time zones and locations. So this is one way to make our communication successful or effective. However, it's crucial to be mindful of time zone differences when scheduling meetings and setting deadlines. Additionally, provide training on effective use of these tools. However, it is a little bit difficult to be mindful of the time zones. Because if I'm in India, if I just schedule a meeting here during the daytime, it may not be the daytime in America. It may not be the daytime in some other territory. So it's a little bit difficult, but it can be managed, because in this global world, nothing is far away from you. Everything is one click away from you. You can easily Google, or you can easily search, and you can get the exact or appropriate time for your meetings. So, and there is one thing, in this global team, the members of the global team, they should be given training. Training for what? Training for using these virtual tools, so that there would be and there must be an effective cross-cultural communication. Then the next point is non-verbal communication. What's non-verbal communication? All the team members should be aware of non-verbal cues such as body language, facial expression, and gestures. See, 70% of the communication is done by non-verbal communication. It's not like people speak less and people act more. So whatever we speak, it's easier to comprehend when it is supported by non-verbal gestures. So in that sense, we say 70% of the communication is done by non-verbal communication. Or we can say the overall communication which a person does, the verbal communication, particularly the communication which is done by the word of mouth, oral communication, which is done by speaking. So 70% of this communication is easily understood when it is supported by non-verbal communication. So non-verbal communication, it plays a vital role in the process of communication. See, if I talk about my country, if I talk about this country, India, you will see people here in the northern regions, when you nod head like this, it means yes. And you come to the southern area or in the middle India, when somebody tells you yes, for example, you are asking, have you taken breakfast? So people reply like this. And it is no in the North India, here it is yes. So there are differences in non-verbal cues. So different cultures may interpret non-verbal signals in varying ways. These non-verbal signals, different cultures, they interpret it in varying ways. Here it is thumbs up, which means yes, you did great. But in different cultures, if different countries, if you show this thumbs up, it's considered as a shameful action, shameful signal. So for example, a person from any country where it is considered as a shameful action, when he does anything good and you are giving him thumbs up. So it may be, what will he or she just think? That his or her performance was not good and he or she will be discouraged. He or she will think some negative about you. So we should be aware of these non-verbal cues which vary in different cultures. For example, eye contact or personal space. This I told you. Eye contact in different, like if you are in Japan, so I have heard it. So you cannot just make eye contact with your seniors when you are talking to them. So your eyes should be downside. But I would like to talk about myself. If you do not make eye contact with me, I'll feel as if I'm neglected. So we should just work on these things. When we are working in a global team, our team members, they should know what are the different non-verbal cues. How does they vary from one culture to another culture? So this is another important way to foster effective cross-cultural communication in a global team. Next is inclusive leadership. What's inclusive leadership? Inclusive leadership plays a pivotal role in shaping the culture of a global team. Leadership. Because see, everything seems smooth, everything seems easy, everything seems good when you have a good leader. When you are working under a dynamic leader, under a dynamic leadership, under a dynamic chair. So leadership is very important in shaping the culture of a global team. You are working in a global team, but your leader is someone who prefers only one culture. So other team members may not be happy while working in that team. So leadership matters. Inclusive leadership, it involves modeling inclusive behavior and actively promoting an inclusive team culture. Modeling inclusive behavior. So the behavior, it should be universal. There should be uniform behavior. And there should be an inclusive culture, team culture. It's not like I belong to a certain country and my culture would be given great regard, others will be downplayed. No. Inclusive culture, which contains certain elements of all the cultures to which the team members belong. So leaders should strive to create an environment where diverse perspectives are not only welcomed but celebrated. So what a leader should do, he should not only welcome these diverse cultures, but he should celebrate the points which he has extracted from these different cultures. So aim for leadership teams that reflect the diversity of global team. We should aim for leadership teams that reflect the diversity of the global team. This not only demonstrates a commitment to inclusivity, but also provides diverse role models for team members, fostering a sense of belonging. So this not only demonstrates a commitment to inclusivity, this diverse leadership, it does not only demonstrate a commitment to inclusivity, but it also provides diverse role models for team members, which fosters a sense of belonging. So it provides what? Diverse role models for team members, and in other way, it fosters a sense of belonging. A team member is proud of a team. He feels, yes, I belong to a team and I belong to a certain culture. The next point is continuous learning. What's continuous learning? Cross-cultural communication is an ongoing process of learning and adaptation. This cross-cultural communication, it's an ongoing process of learning. Because you are working in a group where different people come from different cultures. So you are learning different things, you are adapting different things day by day in this team. So establish a continuous feedback loop within the team to assess and improve cross-cultural communication strategies. We should establish a feedback loop. A feedback system should be established within a team so that we can assess and improve cross-cultural communication strategies. Because see, when we are having a daily basis feedback, so we come to know, every person shares what sort of challenges he or she has faced today when it comes to communication. So when we are having this feedback culture, so we get to know what are the different ways by which we can improve our communication. So we need to encourage team members to share their experience and insights, creating a culture of continuous learning and improvement. So we need to encourage team members to share their experiences. And encouragement is needed. It is not like we are suppressing them. Rather, we should encourage team members to experience their insights, to experience to express their experiences and insights, so that we can create a culture of continuous learning and improvement. Then regularly update cultural training to incorporate new insights and address emerging challenges. It should be the regular updation of cultural training. Cultural training should be updated on a regular basis so that we can incorporate new insights and address challenges. This commitment to learning demonstrates organizations' dedication to creating a dynamic and culturally intelligent global team. So by this we can make a culturally intelligent global team, and we can make a dedicated a team of dedicated people we can provide to the team when we open the ways for this feedback, and when we give the cultural training to the team members. Then cultural sensitivity. What is cultural sensitivity? Cultural sensitivity involves being attuned to and respectful of cultural differences. Attuned to. Be in touch with the cultures and respect all the cultures. This extends beyond basic awareness to actively recognizing and valuing diverse perspectives. So we need to encourage team members to engage in an open dialogue about their cultural backgrounds, sharing insights into their traditions, customs, and working styles. What's cultural sensitivity? It is beyond recognizing common perspectives. Rather, we need to encourage the team members to talk on their custom, their tradition, their working style, so that they may not feel like sometimes inferior when we talk about their culture, when there arises any dialogue on their custom or traditions. So we should discourage the use of stereotypes, and assumptions based on cultural backgrounds. There are certain stereotypes, like there is one stereotype: my culture is always superior than other cultures. The language which we spoke, that is superior than other cultures which belong to other languages which belong to other cultures. This is stereotype. This is a false assumption. We should discourage these assumptions, and they can be discouraged when we have an open dialogue where we respect every culture. Then, instead, fostering an environment where individuals feel appreciated for their unique contributions, creating a sense of inclusivity within the team. So we should not only provide a culture where everybody's culture is appreciated, rather we should try to create a sense of inclusivity within the team. We should try to create such an environment where we include the elements of the culture of different members. So that's inclusivity. That's inclusivity within this global team. Clarify expectations. What is this? Clarify expectations. Misunderstandings often arise when expectations are unclear. So first we need to clarify expectations. Sometimes expectations are unclear. When they are unclear, so misunderstandings are there. In global teams where cultural differences can influence work norms and practices, it is essential to establish explicit communication about expectations. When you are working in a global team where people from different backgrounds, cultural backgrounds are working, so such teams are prone to misunderstandings when it comes to expectations. So it's important to establish explicit communication about expectations. So this includes expectations regarding work hours, deadlines, and communication responsiveness. Like you are putting a deadline, you are talking about working hours and communication responsiveness. So there are expectations. For example, you expect that the deadline may not be the end of the month, it may be end of the session. So we should clearly talk about expectations, because you are working in a team which is culturally diversified. So you need to talk explicitly about these expectations. For example, the deadline to submit this project is 1st of this month, is the 15th of this month. When it is clearly communicated in an explicit language, so there may not be unclear expectations. So unclear expectations, they lead you to misunderstanding, and misunderstandings, obviously, that can hamper the progress of the global team. So we should encourage team members to seek clarification when needed to communicate openly about their expectations. So how can we attain this clarification of expectations? We need to encourage the team members to seek clarifications when they need these clarifications. So then this clarity helps prevent misunderstandings and ensures that everybody is on the same page. So this sort of clarification, when we encourage them to ask about their clarifications, to seek clarifications about their doubts, so we can provide a team where everybody will feel that they are on the same page. So then language differences. We need to be sensitive about language differences and potential language barriers. There are different language barriers. We need to be very clear about that. And we need to ensure clarity in communication and be open to asking and clarifications when needed. Then, what are the strategies for effective cross-cultural communication? The first one is active listening. We need to practice active listening to fully understand the perspectives of team members. We cannot understand the perspectives of team members if we are passive listeners. We need to listen them carefully, because when we listen people, we give them the feeling that you people are appreciated and we are here for you and you are welcome. So then we need to clarify and confirm your understanding by paraphrasing and asking questions. Then the sixth point is adaptability. What's adaptability? Adaptability means be flexible in your communication style to accommodate different cultural preferences. So we need to be flexible in order to adapt or in order to accommodate different cultural preferences. Then clarity and simplicity. The language used for this global team, it should be simple language. It should be the clear language. We should avoid jargons, complex sentences, and idioms. Cultural sensitivity, I talked about. Feedback should be given. Then diversity training. We should provide training on cultural awareness, on sensitivity. Then we should also, cultural exchange should be there. We should adapt to each other's culture. By that, we can make it a global team. And we should have common goals. No doubt we belong to different cultures, but at the end of the day, we have common goals. Then conflict resolution. If there is any conflict, we should reach to the resolutions. Resolutions, they should not be based on priorities. They should not be based on the basis of discrimination. So we should reach to the resolutions while taking in consideration all the team members who belong to different cultures. Then we should build trust, because see, when we are working in a global team, trust is very important, because you are working with the team members who belong to some other groups, who belong to other cultures, who belong to other countries. So they can work wholly and solely, they can work wholeheartedly for your organization when you build trust with them and when they trust you. So we should be very clear while we should be very clear with all the formalities, with all the documentation process regarding their work schedule. So we should not make any doubtful claim. So if we are doing such, we cannot build trust with them. So if we are not building trust with them, so that's harmful for the organization. Then we have training and support. We should provide training for different cultural activities. So if you want some extra information regarding this topic, you can go with these references, you can go with this material. It will help you to find more information regarding the topic discussed. So this is all for today. Here I would like to stop. Thank you for listening me. Thank you very much.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.